I would like to stay as well. I love you too. But I have been without the kiddos for a long time. So I'll rush off, but now without spending some more time with you guys. All right, let's do it. Anything you wanted to know? Now's the chance.
Anything?
Anything.
Shoe size.
Shoe size. In European, it's like 70 or something. I'm between a 13 and 14, depending on the shoe.
Hi
again.
Hi.
Yeah, you mentioned your brother before as a bad influence on you. I was just wondering, you after your accident here with Master Chow, which side of your brother was coming out more? The big brother knocking you for getting your shoulder broken by someone half your size, or the orthopedic surgeon who is actually specialized in curing injuries like that?
So my older brother is an orthopedic surgeon, and so when I hurt my shoulder, I called him and I was like, I think my shoulder's hurt. And he's like, yeah, but I mean, you're talking on the phone, it's probably fine. And I was like, I've got a good pain tolerance, Jeff, my brother. And he's like, all right, when you come in, we'll x-ray it. And so I left a couple days later and flew to Austin by myself and got an MRI or x-ray the next day. He told me it was pretty injured. But he goes really well into, my brother goes really well into like work mode. And he's a pretty awesome surgeon. I think my dad's favorite story to tell my brother is that he was in a restaurant or something, and somebody passed out, and he ran over to start looking at them, and somebody was like, hey, buddy, are you ambulance or something? He's like, no, I'm a doctor. And like went back to it, but he gets way into work mode really quickly, so he went to older protective brother mode. Thank God, because I got all nice and fixed up, and now I can move. It was awesome, told me the fake documentary, and it was really, really easy to make fun of myself. One of my favorite parts about Supernatural is being able to mock ourselves and do episodes like Real Ghostbusters or Changing Channels or French Mistake, and kind of make fun of how a lot of actors are. The cemetery, like the whole, we had a lot of fun with that, Real Ghostbusters. I loved it. I loved it, the fake documentary. We were thinking of ideas for like a couple weeks, and then Misha would come up and film and be like, okay, time to film. The only problem was we had to do it in between takes. So we had to go act, and I had lines, I had actual lines that Sam Winchester had to say, and then we had sort of like, not dialogue, but improvisation plans for the documentary. And so it was like breaking in between two characters. And I've played Sam a lot in the last 11 years, y'all might know, but I haven't played like fake Jared a lot. And so I was trying to like, okay, what kind of characterization, what do I do? Luckily we knew that y'all would probably have a good time and laugh, and so we could just kind of take the piss out of ourselves. And so that's what we did. I think if Sam did get the mark of Cain, I think it would not have turned out well for him. I think that's putting it mildly, 007.
Sam is strong.
Sam is strong. Dean is strong too, and Cain was strong too. So I think one of the things we try to do with Supernatural is try and say like, this is a stronger force than you could ever even imagine. And so we try to introduce these elements of the story that are, if you get this mark of Cain, then like Sam says to Dean, you're gonna have to lock me up someplace far away and throw away the key. Because Sam, if anything, just does not want another evil unleashed on the world. And I think that was that's kind of been a running theme of Sam's life, or a running motto of Sam's life. I know the lights. Are you talking about the lights?
Yeah, it's
yeah. How do you think I feel? So I think it wouldn't have been bad. I know he would have fought it, but I hope that Dean would have locked him away somewhere and not let that force get unleashed on the world.
Would you love to have a sneak preview of your future?
If I could time travel, would I change things or a sneak preview? God. That's a great question. No, it's a great question. I don't think I want to see the future. I mean, part of me is so curious that I love to know, because you feel like, but the funny part is if you see, this becomes like a movie line, but the point is what if I see my future and I don't like my future? Then I'll probably try and change the outcome, but I saw the future, so I can't change that outcome. So it would just be a source of anxiety and or depression. Or if it was like if I saw the future and I was super cool or something, I'd be like, well, now I'm going to be an asshole because I know I end up super cool. So I don't know. But then again, I also don't want to necessarily change the past. I mean, I saw a shadow. I thought it was somebody. It's myself. I don't want to change the past necessarily. There have been things I've done in my life that I am not super proud of. You know, if I've done something that's hurt somebody, I would like to erase that. I guess that would be my answer then. I guess I'd go back and change things. But then you go like, does that change who you are now? Whatever. Probably I'd like to change the past.
Yeah, we know that you spent a lot of good time in Austin with your family and friends. So what's your suggestion about Austin tourism?
How long will you be there?
Yes.
If you go to Austin, there's a lot of good food.
Yes.
For me, part of the thing about Austin that I love is walking around. I mean, it's nothing like Rome. Rome is very special. I know not everybody here is from Rome. But there's a very cool, for me, Austin it's a great city. There's great music, there's great food, there's great outdoor activity if you like to ride bikes or jog or swim or paddleboard or kayak. But for me, for whatever reason, Austin became a place I could relax. So that's sort of why I decided to move there. And then when I finally moved back there, I called my friend Jensen and was like, hey, you should move to Austin. What? You really should move to Austin, it's pretty badass. I don't know, man. Jensen, come visit Austin. So he came and now he lives there too. So I get to have one of my best buddies in town also. Super cool.
My question is really simple. Which are the best and worst parts of being an actor for you?
Of being an actor?
Yeah.
God. For me, I have a funny mindset. It's probably incorrect, but I usually think that the best and worst part of anything is the same thing. And I'm going to kind of go into, for instance, I know people who they work so hard and they are just driven and committed and dedicated, and they'll work from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., whether it's at a job or whatever, and then they'll go home at 11 p.m. and do some more work, and you're like, that's a great quality, to be able to really push yourself and to be dedicated and hardworking. On the flip side, very often these people can't stop that. So then they're 70 years old and they're a grandmother or a grandfather, and they don't need to work anymore, but they still do. Like, it's just a part of you. And so I think the best and worst part about being an actor, oh God, I mean, everything. It's really awesome. It's a really awesome blessing. Like, I know I can very often go to a restaurant that's booked up and get a seat. You know, on the flip side, I might have food dripping down my face and have someone come up and take a picture and see a picture online of like a big piece of lettuce in my teeth or something. I know I can afford finer things, but does that mean I'm going to lose appreciation for like the things I grew up with that were not finer by any means? I know people want to be my friends, but I question why they want to be my friends. It ends up making me question myself a lot. It's great blessings, it's awesome. But you kind of become a little, or I did, I kind of became a little weary and suspicious of the outside world. So you feel like you're in this position, right, where people find this hard to believe, except my friends have known me a long time, but I was a shy guy. Like I wasn't like, hey, you know, but I've had to kind of learn to find that part of myself that can be in front of people. But for me, like if I'm not somewhere, then I'm just at home. Like I'm just at home and just boring. So it's awesome to be able to go out and meet people and be, joke around and have fun and be extroverted. But my instinct is to be introverted and home under the book or a glass of wine or something. So it makes you question a lot. Then again, maybe that's a good quality because you're questioning life and people. There are a lot of pros and cons. Ultimately, if I could go back in time, going back to a previous question, and change it, I wouldn't. I would have done what I did. And that's largely lately because people like y'all have made me feel welcome and special. So.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you, sorry to see a couple of the writers go, Robbie and Jenny, but there's some new ones.
Jeremy.
And Jeremy, yeah.
Oh yeah, him.
Well, the last one I saw was Jenny as well, Jenny Klein.
Yeah.
She's been great, 8 years. But also, there's been some great new writers too, like Nancy Wong. I just wondered what you thought of them, and if you'd had any sort of maybe recent stories about the writers and just funny things that have happened, things you enjoyed about them.
So y'all may or may not know, but we lost our showrunner Jeremy and our writers Jenny Klein and Robbie Thompson. And those are 3 really big losses. And they gave so much to the show. I will never ever. There's not a cell in my body that begrudges them or is mad at them for moving on. I understand that. I understand their decisions. That having been said, it's tough because it's been such a family Supernatural has. And granted, Jeremy's the 3rd showrunner, so it's been done successfully a few times. And I believe that the people we still have on board, Andrew and Bob and several other talented writers, Bobo and whatnot, they'll do a great job. And I think because Supernatural is able to reinvent itself with y'all's support, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be great. I don't think we're going to be a totally different show by any means. And if they write some scripts that I'm like, this is not what I signed up for, then I'll be vocal about it. But I guess time will tell, right? I feel like Sam, what's funny is in real life, I'm the car guy. Like my first car was a '69 Camaro. Like I worked on it. 67 Corvette. You have a 67 Camaro? You do? No shit. But yeah, I grew up like, when I was going to high school, I had fan belts and spark plugs in my glove box. And like I could, I'm the car guy. So it's funny that Jensen plays the car guy. But I feel like Sam is the opposite. I feel like Sam is so practical. I think he's into whatever is the smartest way to get from this place to that place. So it would probably be like a hybrid or an electric car, or it would be like a big old like Suburban or something that he could keep a lot of supplies in and clothes and computers and printers and weapons. And I feel like he would look for the either most economical or most kind of useful way to get from point A to point B. Thank you.
So we know you have a pretty amazing wine collection at home. So I'm just wondering how many bottles are going home with you in your suitcase? Tell the truth.
Depends how late I stay at the tank. Probably, in all fairness, like we have been opening them up on the way home and carrying on throughout the night. So it'll probably just be 3 or 4. Yeah. And I like wine. We actually had a bottle of wine at lunch with the cast, and kind of like it talked about wine and where it comes from and why it's cool or who gives a shit. I'm a big. Are you? We haven't ever asked. Are you a wino?
No. Yeah. I like bad wine.
What'd you say?
I like really bad wine. I don't pretend.
Cheap date.
Like cheap wine?
Like cheap.
Yes. Sure.
Like what's your favorite box?
I'm not answering that question. I may have a box up in my room. Yes, I love that. You know what? And I was even saying to Reeve, because Reeve was trying the wine. I was like, "This is great." He's like, "I usually just like cheap wine." I was like, "Dude, if you like cheap wine, drink cheap wine. Like the best bottle of wine is not the one that has the most numbers. It's the one that you want to have another drink of. And that's what wine is about, right?" So, very cool. We'll have to cut open a box sometime and we'll talk vino. Wow, love you.
I was wondering if there was ever a script or an episode that you actually wished you could play Dean, not Sam.
Yeah.
Which one?
The submarine one from this year.
Oh yeah.
I love it. Did you not like it? Because you were like, it was good? What was it?
Very good.
As time goes by? Yes. Is that the one where he goes back in time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That, I was so jealous that he got to do that. Yeah, perfetto. I would have had to cut my hair. I don't know, I was a stowaway, right? I could have been AWOL. No, I wouldn't have cut it. Well, thank you very much. I think I'm a big, I don't want to say World War II fan, because that sounds like, yay, World War II. I'm fascinated by it. I'm like a World War II buff, I suppose. I'm fascinated by the history, I'm fascinated by the time and human development. And so when he got that script, I was so jealous. The only good part was that it filmed like 4 or 5 days filmed before Christmas break, and then 2 or 3 days filmed, or 3 or 4 days filmed after Christmas break. And because he had all those scenes that were in the submarine, and I wasn't in those scenes, I got time off, so I got like an extended vacation. And I did love my scenes that I had that episode with Cassifer. And y'all know we call it Cassifer, right?
Yes.
Like all of the scripts, whenever Nisha is playing Lucifer, like it says, Sam, what are you talking about? Cassifer. I don't even know why I was doing this. Sam, doing what? Cassifer. Well, pretending to bubble. So I got the cool scene with Cassifer, where Cassifer kind of reveals to Sam what the truth is. So
you did a great job in that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. Sorry, Jensen. I don't want to break your heart, but can we do this thing that Sam we chance the Jenny Fraser? Do you like it? We're gonna do it. Supernatural Meet Out Thunder here in Rome. Come on, scream!
Hey guys, welcome to Sam, but Sam and Sam.
Who's Sam? Who's Sam?
What day of the week?
What?
But I will get the chance to say goodbye and thank you to a lot of you. So goodbye.
My next guest stars in the hit TV show Supernatural, and he's got a new movie, My Bloody Valentine 3D, which is a very different type of Valentine's movie. Take a look.
They're dead! They're all dead! My God!
Please welcome Jensen Ackles.
That wasn't the movie at all.
It's a home video?
Yeah, that was a home video.
We had a horror film person on yesterday, Megan Good. She's in a horror film. Today we have a horror film. It's giving me agita. I don't want to, first of all, I would never want to see anything happen to that face, because what you're working with is a jackpot. I'm sure.
I gotta mention yours right now.
Yeah, thank you.
Also,
thank
jackpot.
you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll ask you questions like
That's
this.
perfect. That's.
You don't mind talking in the back of my head,
Not
do
at
you?
all.
Get used to it.
Thank you.
Anyway, Jensen, what's your story?
What is my story?
Where'd you come from? Where'd you go for your holiday? First of all, let's
Holiday.
talk about.
Went down to. I went down to Belize.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
With who? Who? Do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah, my girlfriend and I went down
How
there.
long?
Wow, that set the tone. We've been together for about 2.5 years.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And what is it looking like?
2.5 years.
Think you're gonna get married to her?
I'm. Gosh, you know.
We'll get back to that. We'll get back to that. There's no seat warmer on. That's just me.
It's just you.
So you went down to Belize. What goes on down there in Belize? I don't
well,
think.
apparently it's like the diving, like one of the diving capitals of the world, right? Of course.
High diving, like high dive?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, flipping Olympic training down there.
Just a bunch of diving boards when you get down there?
And I'm not certified, but I figured, hey, I'll go down there and I'll get certified and it'll be great and things. And it's about a 4-day course to get certified. And I said, wait, is there anything less than that? And they said, yeah, sure. Here's watch a 15-minute video and we'll throw a tank on your back and throw you in the water.
Oh, that's great. How do you get around? That's like skydiving. Like, you can go to school for 3 days, or you can just jump out of the plane and see what
happens. Or just strap some guy to your
happens.
back and here we go.
Yeah, it's called tandem.
Yeah, that's
Get
right.
used to that too,
So,
buddy. I can see you with one eye. My boyfriend, do you snorkel? I snorkel. My boyfriend and I snorkel.
We did some snorkeling and I hopped in the water and there was a bunch of big fish.
I'm seeing someone too. So.
Are you?
Yeah.
I read it. I didn't want to not know.
He's here. He's in the building.
Is he?
He's not in my imagination. Go back to your story.
I've lost my way. You're so distracting sometimes.
I know. The whole place is distracting. I do not run a tight ship, and this day has been a disaster, and that's why this. Have you ever gotten? Well, you probably get injured all the time on your horror film sets.
I actually split one guy open during doing this movie. Kerr Smith, one of the other actors. I had the pickaxe, and I went, and I split his eye. I felt so bad.
What?
Yeah.
And then what?
And what a trooper too. He's like, let's hang it. He's like a boxer, right? He's like, where's the metal plates? Let's put that on and let's get right back at it. And we did.
And then you did, and you went back on. Now, why is this a Valentine's Day movie? It's called My Bloody Valentine.
Well, it's a remake of the 1981 movie made up in Nova Scotia called My Bloody Valentine.
Didn't see it.
Me neither. I did though. I waited till after the movie was over, and then I watched it. But it's an old kind of cult movie, and they wanted to take something that had a bit of a cult following and remake it and do it in 3D, and it's really insane.
But you can see it in 3D, or you can see it in regular 2D is regular,
yeah, but
right?
see it in 3D because it really is.
Well, you
like
have to
the
get
whole
those stupid
experience.
glasses.
No, they're not the stupid glasses. They look like Ray-Bans now.
Oh, really?
Yes. I wish I should have brought a pair, but.
Did you give Chewy a pair? They gave Chewy something over there. It's probably that. Yeah, let me see them. Oh, those aren't stupid at all.
No.
I saw Jaws 3D. That was the first time I had a guy feel me up in a movie theater. Yeah.
Really?
And I was so pissed. I was like 9. I'm like, if something doesn't go down here, it's gonna hit the fan.
Maybe,
and I'm like, you think that shark's a problem? You're gonna have to deal with me after this movie.
So Paris shouldn't go see Jaws then, right?
No, Paris should not.
Not with George Clooney.
So the glasses are cool. So you're saying you should go see it in 3D.
Go see it. In fact, a great little story last night with the premiere of the movie, and Paris and her sister Nikki happened to be at the premiere, and I overheard them with probably fantastic, my highlight of the night. And she goes, that movie was dope. And no, wait. And her sister goes, your makeup is dope. Did you do it? And she goes, do I ever do my own makeup? And I shortly realized that I was sitting there listening to the most intelligent conversation these two women have ever had.
Jensen, I want you to know that you have an open invitation to come back to the set of Chelsea Lately or the bedroom of Chelsea Handler anytime you see fit.
Write that down.
Please tell everybody when your movie opens.
Next week, January 16th.
And he's also on Supernatural, which returns Thursday, January 15th on the CW. When we come back, we're going to find out why Lowen works just as hard as Johansson.